Step 17 of Who Am I series, the royal path towards self-realization, the only path. It's an applied science, the science of the only subject, the ego. Does it exist at all? This is the core question, the moot question. We are investigating this in Who Am I inquiry, self-inquiry. We are inquiring about our own self, the self which is now we are at this moment. The speaker in me, the listener in you, whoever they are, whatever they are, do they have any original structure, any composition in gunas, in thoughts, in characteristic attributes, or in the physical cell, the 40 trillion cells which carry, which appear as their body, does it essentially exist? Who is that individual within one? Intellectually, in a thought, mentally, psychologically, or egoistically, or even in the physical form. Is the physical body the person? That's the question. Who is that person? The personalities we hold. Who are they? Who is he? This is the question. Now, in this step, we are entering Sattva Guna part 4 because these are all the basic foundations, foundational science about the Supreme Self. Because we just can't explain, it can only be tasted, it can only be experienced if the separate experiencer in you is dissolved. If I am dead within me psychologically, I am already that. This we have been taking throughout in all our satsangs. And the formation that is taking place in the form of a mind or intellection in an individual, what are the things which constitute that individual, especially the cosmic mind, the Maya Shakti, the illusory power of the cosmos, cosmic mind, and the individual, the ego, and his mind, private mind, locational mind. What are they? How it is constituted? What is its constitution? What is its composition? This is what we are looking at. In this, we will go into the slide. In part 4, under Sattva, Sattva manifests itself as purity, knowledge, and harmony. It is the quality of goodness, joy, satisfaction, nobility, and contentment. Do you see? All are pristine, noble qualities, goodness. Cosmos is already good. The word cosmos is equal to the meaning of the original cosmos word, the meaning of it is nothing but order. It is perfectly in order. In Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna says, whatever that has happened well. Whatever that is happening now at this moment is happening well. Whatever that is going to happen in future, that also will happen beautifully. That will be well. This is how he sounds. What is the basic ingredient of this goodness? It is not the opposite of badness. Especially in Sanskrit, they use the word sadhu, sat. That is what's the primary part of the non-dual self. The deep sleep self is first essentially stillness itself, unmoving existence, unmoving isness, formless, nameless, limitless, unarising, unliving. These adjuncts I just can't stop saying it. Whenever I utter the word stillness, immediately I follow with saying all these things because it has to be taken in the proper perspective because that will open up your heart within you. That's why. So its primary quality, essential quality is goodness. Then next comes the word joy. What is the joy? Always at ease, comfortable, not to worry, not to depend on any thoughts, any thinking. That means what? He never gets identified with his physical body for a happening of joy or bliss or pleasure or some sort of a convenience. They are all not attached to the body. They don't happen for the body. Innately he feels his very sattva guna itself is at ease. The very comfortability is its nature. It's always blissful. It's always joyful. It doesn't need, it doesn't avoid, it doesn't do anything at all. So natural state is comfortability. This is what is joy. Then comes satisfaction. Is there a person or a feeler or an experiencer who yearns to get satisfied out of an experience? No. This is not the kind of that satisfaction. He is always feels complete. If you look at children of less than 2 years, they will always look fulfilled, complete. Leave apart all the naughty kids, mischievous kids. Most of the kids know they are all very sattvic in nature. Below the age of 2 or 2.5 years, most of the kids, they are all sattvic. They are all the embodiment of the God in form, human form. The child and the God are both are the same. This is with throb of life, and that is only like your concept. Here, your kid is, or your grandson is, granddaughter is directly the divinity embodiment itself. So this is full of satisfaction, complete, fulfilled. Then comes nobility. What is that nobility? Never slips down at all, never descends down at all. Descending to what? Descending to a feeling that is emanating because of your attachment with the body. Attachment with the body by a thought or by a feeling or by an experience, yearning for an experience. Never descending down to the body level is called as nobility. This is what it means by being sattvic. Never descending. See, if you attach yourself to a personhood in you, you immediately, the thinking machinery, the thinking factory will start working in you. Mentally, you will produce lot of thoughts and counter thoughts, and they both will argue against each other. There will be a debate constantly going on in each one of us. This is descending, being ignoble, we are descending to the cheap level. This never happens for an entity who has really seen and transcended beyond. There establishes this nobility. And again another word is shown as contentment. To be content is golden. போதும் என்ற மனமே பொன் செய்யும் மருந்து. This is what they call it in Tamil proverb. போதும் என்ற மனம், the contented mind, the mind of contentedness, contentment itself is golden. This he doesn't say I don't want this or I don't want that. It's not nirasha also. He is full, he is complete with whatever. How can that completeness can happen to one? It can happen, it will happen with the association of a guru, with the association of a sadhu, a realized person, naturally that is opened up in one. Listening to satsanga gives the intellect a complete stillness, unmoving capacity, non-moving capacity. Thoughts are not produced. They don't become thinkers at all. This sort of a state start prevailing in one. This brings in contentment. Thoughts do not give contentment. Feelings don't give contentment. Experiences will crave for more experiences. And clinging also will be there. But these things don't exist at all in a sattvic natured entity. This comes only because of grace and with the association of the realized. And here he goes on in the slide. It is free of fear. The sattvic nature is free of fear. This is the very, very essential to be realized, invaluable point. What is fear? Everything is fear. The moment a feeling you have as I will have to, I don't, I do get, I don't get, I will have to become. All these words, I group or mine group, me, with me, by me, for me, because of me, mine, my, etc. If these arise in one, what happens? They are nothing but fear in various forms. That is why the sattvic nature never, even for a fraction of a second throughout waking state, attaching itself with the physical organism, the physical body, as himself, as herself. That is, one is always free from fear, free of fear. Then free of violence. I breeds violence fundamentally. I breeds violence. What to do? Because the other always exists. One becomes intolerant. One is not able to digest the other, not able to look at eye to eye the other. This is violence. Judgments are all, whatever the judgments, just by looking at a person, if I pass in my mind, if I go on pass judgments within me, if I go on making opinions within me about the other, what are they? Absolute violence. This doesn't happen. It is free of fear, it is free of violence. There are no such things. Even a feel of it doesn't have. A person of sattvic nature doesn't have a feel of these things at all. Then comes wrath and malice. What is this wrath? Wrath means a ruffle, a struggle, an uncomfortability, a sort of a dislike, a sort of a intolerance with the other. This is wrath. What is that malice? It's free of malice, free of wrath. What is malice? Critically branding or having an ill feeling over the other. It's free of malice. It never sees shortcomings in anyone at all. It never sees the person, the jiva, or the elevated, noble, sattvic natured entity. It never entertains any feeling of shortage, bad feeling, ill feeling, feeling of malice, branding someone as such and such, labeling, judging. These don't happen. They are free of malice, they are free of wrath. We have a lot to cover in Sattvic Guna itself. We will take it up in our step 18 under part 5.